First of all, I would like to thank the principal, Dr. Murkeswari, and the management of Velamol Institute of Technology for giving me this wonderful opportunity. But I can see there are a lot of people, both from academics and from industry, and it's a very good opportunity for me as well to be part of this wonderful journey for next 5 days. And this data science and computation intelligence, as you know, this is an upcoming and it's already started part of our life if you are into the technology. And I can see there are a lot of eminent speakers coming behind me every day, both from academic side and as well as from the industry side. And I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful knowledge sharing session for all the participants. And also when I hear from Dr. Murugeshwari that people have registered from so Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Wow, that's an excellent news that I can see the people we are covering the entire India for this FTP is a great thing, first of all. So I would like to congratulate for that, first of all. Okay, so right. So as you know, the data analytics is one of the data science and the computation intelligence, or the data analytics and artificial intelligence is going to rule the world, as we know that, right? So before that, I would like to share with you a small kind of a statistical. I'm not going to share my screen, but I would like to read about the data. So as we know, we are living in an digital economy, right? So we are living digitally, basically, right? Even though we present physically, we are already knitted on all our devices now, and we are mind 50% of our mind is digitally connected, correct? So we are most of the time we are digitally connected. So when we say digitally, it basically we can convert that word into data. We are connected data wise, that's the main, right? So I want you to share a quick amount of data. So I was curious to know how much data we are generating every day. Okay, so I wanted to know this data, and I was searched for that. And this gives me an amazing fact, okay, amazing statistics. Okay, so as you know, when I am speaking every second, we are actually sharing 1.7 MB data of data we are creating. Okay, so around the globe, so 1.7 MB data is created every second by every person during this 2020. Okay, right. So another interesting fact, only in the last 2 years, the world data, 90% of the world data has been created in the last 2 years. Can you believe that? So we are that much connected now. It may be because of the tools, devices, and etc., networking, everything. But the whole world data, if you take the mountain of the world's data, the 90% of the data is created in last 2 years. This is very interesting fact for me. And another one, every day, how much data we are producing, every day, how much data? It is around 2.5 quintillion. So, what is that quintillion? It is something like 18 zeros. You can count for yourself. It's 10 to the power of 18. So that much of data we are generating every day by a human. Okay, every day. Okay, can you believe it? And then, and okay, when we just talk about this 2020, so let's say after 5 years, how much data we will be generating? 2025. Okay, in 2025, how much data we are generating? So it will be something like 463 exabytes. So I request you to please go through and check what is exabytes, what is the power and all that. It's going to be an amazing fact. Okay, and there are 95 millions of photos and videos are shared on Instagram every day. Okay, so by the end of 2020, we are going to have 44 zettabytes that will make the entire digital universe. And every day, there are 306.4 billion emails are sent and 5 million tweets are made. This is an amazing fact, right? So we are living in a data economy where we are generating a lot of data. So can you tell me, or can you think how we are generating this data? So this data can be generated in multiple ways. So mainly it's because of the growth of internet. We have to agree that. And when we want to have a device, whatever device we have, personal device, we are connected to the internet. The moment we are connected to the internet, that means we started sharing something. That is a fact. So you can argue with me that we are not sharing everything. Of course, I agree. We are not sharing everything. But the moment you connect to the internet through your device, it can be any kind of device. You take an app or whatever. You can take a mobile or a tab or iPad or iWatch, or you take anything, any kind of device, we are sharing the data. So that is why these facts are telling you. So now, what can we do with this data? Okay, so we are right. So we are sharing a lot of data. So we are running around a digital economy that is nothing about a data economy. We are sharing a lot of data. So that is the first one you have to know. So now, what can we do with this data? Okay, so that is the next question. Now the companies, most of the businesses are digitalized, and these companies wanted to think how I can make use of the data. Should I just delete all this data? What is the important data for me? How can I make use of this data for business? Or how can I make use of the data to serve my customers better? Or how can I make use of this data to make my company $1 billion company? So all that depends on the data. So the first thing, let me quickly summarize what are the things we can do with the data. The first one is you can uncover the insights, correct? So I have a lot of data. I wanted to know what I can do with the data. So that is called insights, what this data is giving to me. And then I can convert this data into a knowledge. Okay, so basically data is a number, a raw data. So from the data, I will be taking an information. So from the information, I will get a knowledge. So from the knowledge, I will take an action. So that is the flow of a normal data life, right? The life cycle of the data. If you take a raw data is created, we should convert that into an information. So from that information, we should get some knowledge. From that knowledge, we should do some action. So that's how a life cycle of data is, right? So I want to detect some trends. I can use my data, and I wanted to answer some unanswered questions. I can do with the data. And finally, I wanted to create a story, tell a story. The storytelling is one of the interesting areas for data analytics. Okay, you can search in the internet what is storytelling with data. Okay, there are few interesting experts around the globe. They are expertise in telling the data, and they have made a lot of social changes with this kind of data and their way of telling the story through data. Okay, so these are the places very the data is going to be very interesting. So as I told you, this data is coming from different places. Now we are talking about the Internet of Things. So it is coming from different things, different devices, etc. Okay, so now we can divide this data into three types. Okay, this data can be used for inferential purpose, right? So like something like what has happened, why it has happened. You want to do some analysis on that. So I can use that data. Or it can be a predictive data. What will happen next for me? So it can be in predictive data, or it can be in prescriptive data. So now already this has happened. So my data will tell, do this to avoid this. So that is called prescriptive data. What has to be done? So our data is capable of doing all that. So as you know, when we talk about the machine learning, the next step, the machine learning or artificial intelligence, these are empty without a data. Without data, you cannot do anything. So these machine learning algorithms or whatever you talk about, tools, technology, everything, it all depends on the data itself. Okay, so the data plays very important role for all this stuff, right? So as you know, uh, before you start learning about machine learning and something, it is very important that you need to know about the data science. You need to know about how to analyze my data, how to understand the data, right? So you need to be curious about the data. So what these data is going to give me, what I can do with the data. You have to be creative, you have to be curious, and you have to be innovative with the data. That is where you can take that data into the next step. What is the next step? How I can apply. So for that, we go for the machine learning, artificial intelligence, you name it, anything. Okay. So there are a lot of tools now available. In the last 2-3 years, if you see, there are a lot of tools available for implementing. Okay. Starting this and biggest thing, all these things are open source. That is the biggest advantage, that you don't have to pay. Any layman, if you know basics of the data and you know how to use the tool, that's enough. Okay, so that kind of environment we are living in. So this is the right time that the topic has been rightly chosen for this, and as you know, we are living in the pandemic, and most of the industries and the businesses, they want to automate. And even you take the education industry, we want to automate all our systems, right? We want to automate all our for example, evaluation. Okay, so when the students submit their assignment, I want it to be evaluated automatically. So that reduces a lot of job for the teachers. As a teaching community, as we know, we are under very much pressure during this pandemic. So people may outside, they may think that we are free. No, we are actually under tremendous pressure to make sure how we are going to educate our kids, educate our students. That is the biggest responsibility on our heads, right? So and at the meantime, we are also heavily loaded in terms of work. We are spending more time and how I am going to correct this. There are a lot of online things are coming up. How I am going to correct it? I need to create a video. You know about it, right? If you're in the academic industry. So how you can effectively automate all this process. Okay, so during this pandemic, so that's where the AI and the machine learning. I told only about the education industry. You can think of any of the industry. So all this industry needs some kind of automation. For this automation, or if you want to make the machine to learn by itself, data is the basic. Yeah, so this, I believe, the next 5 days you are going to hear, we are going to hear from the experts the wonderful knowledge you are going to gather. So I would suggest, don't stop there. Okay, so try to do something after these 5 days. Try to apply all that. That is going to be helpful for you. Okay, so on a closing note, I wanted to say, let's say if you have a data for 10 years, then we call that as an historical data. Okay, so when you say you have a data for last 10 months, okay, then I can say this is a kind of a less predictive in nature. But if you have the data collected for last 10 minutes, it is going to be a more predictive data. And the companies, industries, and everyone interested in last 10 minutes data, apply a model, apply an algorithm, and tell me immediately what I can do next. That is the age we are living. Okay, remember, the 10 years data to historical data, last 10 months data is a less predicted data, and last 10 minutes data is a more predicted data. That is where I can make use of this data and apply all my algorithms. Okay, so just with this ending note, I don't want to take more time. So I wish all the success for this wonderful FTP faculty development program. I believe at the end of this program, most of you are going to be bombarded with a lot of knowledge. So I would suggest make use of this before, take it further. That is my wish. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Murugeshwari, for this. And I will rejoin on this FTP on Friday.
Sure.